Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvighna Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Me Sada Gurave Sarvalokanam Visaje Bhavarodinam Nidaye Sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vivagine Vyomavadyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhutamarstvama Vidvijavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. You can repeat after me. Atma Kaha Atma Kaha. By this time, I hope that all you have memorized the text up to the sentence what we are saying.
Did you say memorize?
Yeah, I said that. Because I told you this is a book of definitions. So every word is a technical word. So therefore, you should memorize this. It's not a long text. So, and we are chanting every class, so you have memorized by this time. Okay. Stula Sukshma Karna Sharirat Yatiriktaha Panchakoshatītas san Avasthatraya Sakshi Sachidananda Rupasan Yugatishtati Sa Atma.
Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Yatiriktaha Panchakoshatītasan avasthatraya sakshi sachidananda swarupahasan yatishtati sa atma.
Sthula shariram kim
Sthula shariram kim
Panchīkrita pancamahabhūtaikrūtam satkarmajanyam Sukha Dukkādi Bodhayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashyati Iti Shat Vikaravat Etat Sthula Shariram
Panchīkrita pancamahabhūtaihi kritam Satkarmajanyam Sukha Dukkādi Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardhate Viparinamate Apachiyate Vinashyati Iti Shadvikaravat Etat Sthula Shariram.
Okay. I hope by reading the definition you would be able to understand the words, the definition. Right?
Yes.
Good. So Panchīkrita Pancamahabhūtaihi Kritam. And now since we have seen this, so every word of the definition, so you can understand the meaning of it very clearly. Okay.
Yes.
Sukshma Shariram Kim.
Sukshma Shariram Kim.
A अपञ्चीकृतपञ्चमहाभूतैः सत्कर्मजन्यं सुखदुःखादिभोगसाधनं पञ्चज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चप्राणादयः मनश्चैकं बुद्धिश्चैका एवं सप्तदशकलाभिः सह यत् तिष्ठति तत् सूक्ष्मशरीरम्
अपञ्चीकृतमहाभूतैः कृतं सत्कर्मजन्यं सुखदुःखादिभोगसाधनं पञ्चज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चप्राणादयो मनश्चैकं बुद्धिश्चैका एवं सप्तदशकलाभिः सह यत् तिष्ठति तत् सूक्ष्मशरीरम्.
Okay. What are the main differences between Sthula Shariram and Sukshma Shariram? By saying the definition. Yeah.
Bhoga sadhanam is
Bhoga Ayatanam. Yeah. Bhoga Ayatanam is Sthula Shariram, Bhoga Sadhanam, Sukshma Shariram. One is the tenement, that abode. Other one is the sadhanam, which is a means for experiencing sukha and dukkha. And one is panchikrita, other one is apanchikrita. Yes. Saptadasha kalabhisaha. Shrotram tvak chakshu rasana ghranam iti pancha jnanendriyani.
Shrotram tvak chakshu rasana ghranam iti pancha jnanendriyani.
Navatamji, you left out rasana. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Fine.
Oh, sorry.
Shrotrasya digdevata pacho vayuhu chakshusha suryaha rasanayaha varunaha dhranasya ashvinau iti jnanendriya devataha.
Shrotrasya digdevata pacho vayuhu chakshusha suryaha rasanaya varunaha घ्राणस्य अश्विनौ इति ज्ञानेन्द्रियदेवताः.
श्रोत्रस्य विषयः शब्दग्रहणं, पचो विषयः स्पर्शग्रहणं, चक्षुषो विषयः रूपग्रहणं, रसनाया विषयः रसग्रहणं, घ्राणस्य विषयः गन्धग्रहणम्.
श्रोत्रस्य विषयः शब्दग्रहणं, त्वचो विषयः स्पर्शग्रहणं, चक्षुषः विषय रूपग्रहणं, रसनाया विषयः रसग्रहणं, घ्राणस्य विषयः गन्धग्रहणम् इति.
वाक्पाणिपादपायुपस्थानि इति पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि.
वाक्पाणिपादपायूपस्थान् इति पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि.
वाचो देवता वह्निः, हस्तयोरिन्द्रः, पादयोर्विष्णुः, पायोर्मृत्युः, उपस्थस्य प्रजापतिः इति कर्मेन्द्रियदेवताः.
वाचो देवता वह्निः, हस्तयोरिन्द्रः, पादयोर्विष्णुः, पायोर्मृत्युः, उपस्थस्य प्रजापतिः इति कर्मेन्द्रियदेवताः.
वाचो विषयो भाषणं, पाण्योर्विषयो वस्तु ग्रहणं, पादयोर्विषयो गमनं, पायोर्विषयो मलत्यागः, उपस्थस्य विषयः आनन्द इति.
वाचो विषयो भाषणं, पाण्योर्विषयो वस्तुग्रहणं, पादयोर्विषयो गमनं, पायोर्विषयो मलत्यागः, उपस्थस्य विषय आनन्द इति.
प्राणापानव्यानोदानसमानाः इति पञ्चप्राणाः.
प्राणापानव्यानोदानसमानाः इति पञ्चप्राणाः.
सङ्कल्पविकल्पात्मकं मनः, निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धिः.
सङ्कल्पविकल्पात्मका मनः, निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धिः
कारणशरीरं किम्
कारणशरीरं किम्
Important definition. Anirvachya anadya vidya rupam shariradvayasya karanamatram satsvarupa jnanam nirvikalpaka rupam yadasti tat karana shariram.
अनिर्वाच्यानाद्य विद्यारूपं शरीरद्वयस्य कारणमात्रं सत्स्वरूपाज्ञानं निर्विकल्पकरूपं यदस्ति तत् कारणशरीरम्.
This definition is important. We took 2 classes to cover this definition. It has 4 parts are there. Anadya vidya rupam, Anirvachya anadya vidya rupam, Shariradvayasya karanamatram, Satsvarupa ajnanam, Nirvikalpaka rupam. 4 parts of the definition. We covered it in 2 classes. So, important. Avasthatrayam kim?
अवस्थात्रयं किम्?
Jagrat swapna sushupti avasthaah.
जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थाः.
जागृत अवस्था का
जागृत अवस्था
का only. Yeah, because avastha is feminine. Shrilinga. Shrotradi jnanendrehi shabdati vishayaah न्यायन्ते इति यत् सा जागृत अवस्था स्थूल शरीर अभिमानी आत्मा विश्वः इति उच्यते.
श्रोत्रादि ज्ञानेन्द्रियैः शब्दादि विषयैः ज्ञायत इति यत् सा जागृत अवस्था स्थूलशरीरात्मा विश्व इत्युच्यते.
शरीराभिमानी आत्मा विश्वः इति उच्यते. That atma can be read along with स्थूल शरीर अभिमानी. Vishwaha is the name given to that. स्थूल शरीर अभिमानी आत्मा विश्वः इति उच्यते.
स्थूल शरीराभिमानी आत्मा विश्व इत्युच्यते.
स्वप्नावस्था का इति चेत् जागृत अवस्थायां यत् दृष्टं यत् श्रुतं तज्जनित वासनया निद्रा समये यः प्रपञ्चः प्रतीयते सा स्वप्नावस्था.
स्वप्नावस्था के जागृत अवस्थायां यदृष्टं यच्छ्रुतं तज्जनित वासनया निद्रा समये यत् प्रपञ्च प्रतीयते सा स्वप्नावस्था.
सूक्ष्म शरीराभिमानी आत्मा तैजसः इति उच्यते.
सूक्ष्म शरीराभिमान्यात्मा तैजस इत्युच्यते.
ततः सुषुप्ति अवस्था का
ततः सुषुप्तावस्था का
अहं किमपि न जानामि सुखेन मया निद्रा अनुभूयते इति सुषुप्ति अवस्था.
अहं किमपि न जानामि सुखेन मया निद्रानुभूयत इति सुषुप्त्यवस्था.
शरीराभिमानी आत्मा राज्ञः इति उच्यते.
कारणशरीराभिमान्यात्मा प्राज्ञ इत्युच्यते.
कोशाः के
पंचकोशाः के
अन्नमयः प्राणमयः मनोमयः विज्ञानमयः आनन्दमयश्चैति.
अन्नमयः प्राणमयः मनोमयः विज्ञानमयः आनन्दमयः चेति.
अन्नमयः कः?
अन्नमयः कः?
अन्नरसेनैव भूत्वा अन्नरसेनैव वृद्धिं प्राप्य Anna Rupa Prithivyam Yat Viliyate Tat Annamayat Koshaha Stula Shariram.
Annarasenaiva bhutva annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya annararupa prithivyam yati viliyate tadannamayaha koshaha stula shariram.
No, that you should read like this. Anna Rase Naiva Bhutva. Okay, that part to be together. Then Anna Rase Naiva Vriddhim Prapya. Then it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you read like Anna Rase Naiva Bhutva Anna Rase Naiva, then
Yeah.
that is not, the meaning is not clear.
Yeah.
Right? So, when you read, that is why you be familiar with the definition, keep reading, then will know. So, Anna Rase Naiva Bhutva, Anna Rase Naiva Vriddhim Prapya, Anna Rupa Prithivyam Yat Viliyate, Tat Viliyate, Tat Annamaya Koshaha Stula Shariram. That should be completed like that. Okay?
Right.
Fine.
Annarasenaiva bhutva annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya annarupa prithivyam yat viliyate tadannamayaha koshaha stula shariram.
Okay. Pranamayakaha.
Pranamayakaha.
Pranadhyaha panchavayavo vagendriya panchakam pranamayat koshaha.
Pranadhyaha panchavayavo vagendriya panchakam pranamaya koshaha.
If you want to pause, Pranadhyaha panchavayavaha vagendriya panchakam pranamayat koshaha, that is also you can do. Right here, that first we are saying the Pranadhyaha panchavayavaha combining with vagendriya panchakam pranamaya koshaha iti. Okay. Okay. Now you can mute your mic. We have seen Atma is Panchakosha Atitaha. That is the topic of our discussion. In that discussion, we are saying each kosha and negating that Atma is not Panchakosha. Since Atma is not Panchakosha, we have to negate all the koshas. For that we should know what each kosha is. And therefore we are saying the definition of each kosha. We have seen Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha. Now we will take up Manomaya kosha. And the definition of Manomaya kosha is, now you can repeat after me. Manomayakaha.
Manomayakaha.
Manascha Jnanendriya Panchakam Militva.
Manascha Jnanendriya Panchakam
Yatha Bhavati Sa Manomaya koshaha. The definition is a simple definition. Manomaya. What is Manomaya? Manascha Jnanendriya Panchakam Militva Yaha Bhavati Saha Manomaya Koshaha. Manaha, the mind. Manascha Jnanendriya Panchakam, that is the five sense organs of knowledge. The mind along with the five sense organs of knowledge is Manomaya Koshaha. The mind, when it is grouped, the mind is Antakaranam. When the Antakaranam plays a part of mind, when it is grouped with the five sense organs of knowledge, then it is called Manomaya Koshaha. When we say Manomaya Koshaha, it means it includes all the emotions, the desires, your worries, anxieties, your doubts, sankalpa, vikalpa, the oscillation of the mind, everything is included. All the relevant changes which happens in the mind with reference to what the mind perceives from the external world, they all come under Manomaya Koshaha. All the five pranas and karmendriyas put together form Pranamaya Koshaha. That we have seen. All the five sense organs of perception and the mind put together, they form Manomaya Koshaha. For karmendriyas to operate, for karmendriyas to function, energy is required. Shakti is required. It means prana. When you feel weak or insufficient supply of prana is not there in your body, then you will not be able to move your hands or legs. Prana pervades the entire body. Therefore, that Shakti pervades the entire body. In fact, pranayama is not just a regulation of breath, it is regulation of prana, regulation of prana Shakti. Therefore, pancha prana plus karmendriyani, it makes together the pranamaya kosha. And for jnanendriya to function, what do we need? We need mind, manaha. Without mind, senses cannot function. In sushupti, mind is not there. Therefore, senses, they don't function. Your eyes may be wide open when you are sleeping, but you will not be able to see the object that is right in front of you because your mind is not there. You would have seen some people sleeping with their eyes open. It doesn't mean they are awake. Eyes are open, but mind is not there. It has gone to sleep. Therefore, mind is important for the function of jnanendriya. The mind and the senses, they go hand in hand. Senses, they don't function without being backed up by the mind. Without senses, mind cannot have any information from the external jagat to entertain any thoughts or feelings. Therefore, manaha, mind plus jnanendriya is manomaya koshaha. Mind is meant to entertain thoughts and the consequent the emotions. And for the mind to entertain thoughts, it should have established contact with the external world through the senses, through the jnanendriya. For example, when you look at the suffering of some people, you develop sympathy. When you look at something in the society which is not in keeping with the order, with the dharma, then you get angry. When things are not happening as it should happen, then you become frustrated, disappointed. Or when you see a certain thing, that the desire arises in you to possess the object. All these are possible only when the senses, it provides information to the mind. Senses can work only when the mind is available for the karta, the subject. And senses, they provide all the information sincerely to the mind. Senses, they don't judge. They don't have the judging capacity. Senses, they are the sincere reporters. They report the sense objects, Vishaya. They report what they perceive. They are not like our NDTV or CNN or like our local Tamil channels. They are sincere reporters. It is a mind, it processes the information. It processes the information furnished by the sense organs, and the mind acts upon it in the form of entertaining thoughts and the consequent emotions. And those emotions are also expressed physically. That is why we say that the face is the index of mind. So whatever emotions are there in you, that your face automatically it shows up. So face is only a upalakshana. It is not only face. In fact, our whole body expresses what the mind thinks. That is what we say body language or the face reading and all these techniques. Therefore, the mind and the five senses, they form a group, and that is called manomaya. And why do we add the pratyaya mayat to the manomaya? You remember the pratyaya mayat I told in the last class. Mayat is added in the two senses I told. One is in prachuryarthe, other one is vikararthe. Manomaya, that here the mayat pratyaya is added in the sense of vikara, change. Why? Because mind undergoes change. Senses also undergo change based on perception. The senses, they provide, they are in contact with the external world and they give a lot of information. The senses change with reference to the objects they perceive, and therefore mind also change. And the nature of the mind is change. Therefore, mayat, vikara with mayat pratyaya is added. Jnanendriya, they bring in information to the mind related to the vishaya, the sensory objects. And the sensory objects in the external jagatar, they are many and they are different. And the mind has to undergo change relevant to the perception. And therefore, the mind is never the same. The nature of the mind is to change. The mind is of the nature of change. Therefore, vikara with mayat, manomayaha. And what do we do to focus the mind? And you should understand what is that, what does it mean? Focusing, concentration. Do we make the mind non-changing? We limit the interaction of the senses. By focusing on a particular object or a particular thing, we limit the interaction of the senses and the mind by our focus. Like you put a dot on a paper and just place it on a wall right in front of you and you just gaze it. That practice is called Tathakam. It's a very good practice. It is a practice to focus the mind on a particular thing. You cannot stop the mind from changing. That is not possible. You cannot destroy the mind also. Manonajaha, making the mind immobile, is not possible. What is possible is ekagratam. In that practice, the mind will be allowed to be within a particular object. That is what we do in Sadhana Upasana also. Sadhana Upasana, we meditate, we focus on our Ishtadevata. The mind will be allowed to move all over the image of Ishtadevata. That is visualized inside. You can visualize the feet, you can visualize the leg, you can visualize the middle portion of the body, upper portion of the body, the face. The mind will be moving all over the image of the Ishtadevata. That is what making the mind or handling the mind as a tool to focus, to use it effectively. Okay, now this Manomaya, why Manomaya is called Koshaha? Koshaha, you know, Koshaha means cover or encasement. It is, Manomaya is a Kosha because it is a locus for committing a mistake. What mistake? Mistaking the mind to be myself. That is a mistake. Therefore, Koshavat Atmanam Achadagatvat Koshaha. Like an encasement, like a cover, like the sword is covered in a sheet. But that example that the sword is literally covered, you cannot see the sword is literally covered, means the sheet is meant for the sword to cover fully. But here when we say covering, is covering as though covering. Understand? Because Atma cannot be covered. If Atma can be covered, then that becomes Atma. That which covers the Atma becomes the Atma. It's a problem. So, as though, always you understand, as though. Eva. So, Koshavat, Atmanam Achadagatvat, Koshaha. Like an cover, like an encasement, Manomaya covers the Atma as though. But as though is very important. If you miss the as though, then it becomes that Atma as though, as Atma is really covered by something. Then it's a problem. Then we have to look out for Atma. So because it is as though covered, Manomaya is mistaken to be Atma. You don't need to transcend Manomaya if you don't commit a mistake. But the mistake is committed. Therefore, the mistake has to be corrected. Because the mistake is committed, it needs to be corrected. And that correction, you can call it transcending. If at all, if you want to use the word transcending, that you can use. Really speaking, nothing is to be transcended. Even in meditation, you don't get any unique experience. Meditation is only to appreciate the fact that Atma is myself. I am Atma. I am Atma, that is a fact which is established by the Shastra Pramanam, by Savanam. And that you appreciate in meditation. With eyes closed, it is you. With eyes open, it is you. Whether it is closed or open, it is you. The fact is not going to change. If you want to transcend, it is only by jnana. It is only possible by means, by understanding. By understanding, I am aware of all the changes that the mind undergoes. And mind is vikalpatmakam. Atma never undergoes any change. So, the Atma is not the mind. Atma is avyayam. Na jayam, avyayam. Mind is jayam. Since mind is jayam, mind cannot be Atma. This we can understand. Once we understand this clearly, this understanding has to be consciously reinforced. Because we may slip from this understanding due to our habitual thinking, habitual thought. That is why we need meditation. That is why nididhyasanam comes. Understand that when we say understand that when we don't say that mind is not the Atma, it is never our conclusion. Mind is because of Atma. Mind is Atma, but Atma is not the mind. And this Manomaya changes. What changes cannot be Atma? All the changes are noticeable because of Atma. Yati yati vikaravat saha na Atma. Anything which is subject to vikara, the modification, it cannot be Atma. Because Atma is avyayam. So when you say, I am restless, I am disturbed, I want, in all this, the I am doesn't change. But to which you add a lot of adjectives. So all these are Manomaya. They become the cause, the karanam for the mind to be a kosha. Therefore, Manomaya kosha, and which is the combination of mind and the Jnanendriya Panchaka. Okay, now comes the next kosha. You can repeat after me. Vijnanamaya buddhihi jnanendriya panchakam militva
ज्ञानेन्द्रिय पंचकम मिलित्वा
यह भवति स विज्ञानमय कोशः
यह भवति स विज्ञानमय कोशः.
Okay, you can mute now. Vijnanamaya kaha. What is Vijnanamaya? Buddhihi Jnanendriya Panchakam Militva. Militva is grouping together. Vijnanamaya kosha is grouping the Buddhi, the intellect, and the Jnanendriya Panchakam, the sense organs of knowledge. The five-fold sense organs of knowledge containing with the Buddhi is called Vijnanamaya kosha. It is also a kosha. Buddhi stands for knowledge. Acquisition, gaining of any knowledge needs Buddhi. And the knowledge takes place only in Buddhi. For knowledge to take place in Buddhi, what do we need? We need sense organs. Sense organs bring in information about the sense objects, Vishaya. And the knowledge of the Vishaya takes place in the Buddhi. So Buddhi and the Manas, both, they need the support of sense organs of perception, Jnanendriya. Also, without Buddhi, senses cannot function for gathering data. Why? Because the same Antakaranam, which plays the role of mind, also plays the role of Buddhi. Antakaranam is only one. That plays different role, either as Manas or as Buddhi. Therefore, when we look at this from the standpoint of mind and Buddhi individually, how many components we have? We have 22 components. We said 17 components. In 17 components, what are there? Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Pranadayaha, Manascha Ekam, Buddhischa Eka. But Manas and Buddhis both have for the operation of both sense organs of the Pancha Jnanendriyani is required. So, therefore, if you take it individually, it becomes 22. So, all this put together, it is the Sukshma Sharira. And what is Buddhi? Buddhi is Nishchayatmika Antakarana Vritti. That is Buddhi. When there is a doubt, we call the Antakaranam as Manas, mind. When there is no doubt, we call the Antakaranam as Buddhi. When there is the resolution, the conclusion, then it's called Buddhi. When you see an object, say for example a flower, the mind, the Antakaranam undergoes change. The mind undergoes change. In order to objectify the flower based on the data supplied by the sense organ, here the sense organ is eye, so a vritti is formed in the mind. A vritti is formed, and that vritti is a mind. The mind is nothing but thought only. A vritti is formed. You are all studying Vedanta Paribhasha. There this theory of perception is discussed very elaborately. In Panchadashi also it is discussed. Kutastha Deepa Prakaranam. Just as the water, this is given in, I think in Vedanta Paribhasha, they give this example. Just as the water which comes out from a tank through a hole, when it flows to the field, the water, they take the shape of the field it occupies. Similarly, the mind, which stretches out through the sense organs, it occupies the object it comes across. It takes the shape of the object and becomes modified to take the form of the object. That is vritti. Now, this vritti has got an object, and that object happens to be a flower. And therefore, there is a phalam. Pramana phalam is there. Mere vritti is not the phalam. The ultimate, the result of the sight is the recognition of the flower. That is the pramana phalam. Pramana phalam is the recognition of the object. And here the sense organ uses eye. So pramana phalam is there. So the recognition of the object takes place only because of the buddhi. The buddhi has to recognize. If you don't recognize, then it is not a phalam. You recognize a fact, this is a flower, this is a rose. That is called pramana phalam. This pramana phalam takes place because of what? That is called buddhi. That conclusion that this is a flower, this is a rose flower, that is nishchayatmika. Nishchayatmika means phala vyapti. Suppose there is a doubt whether this is a real flower. Why? Because it could be a flower made of plastic. And it could appear as a real flower. It is possible. Nowadays even rice can be made plastic. What to talk about flower? China makes plastic cauliflower. I don't know what will happen if one consumes it. You can imagine. Even the taste, they fail to prove that it is fake. It is so real. Therefore, when there is a doubt, we cannot conclude only based on our visual perception. We have to use other sense organs. You can touch the flower and decide, or you can smell and decide. So, or you can do some arthapatti. Arthapatti is reasoning. If possible, you can do that also. If you see the flower in the midst of leaves, then you can conclude that it is a real flower because the leaves are there, the leaves are real. But the leaves also can be artificial. Then arthapatti will not work. So, the best way is to use pratyaksha pramana. You can smell the flower. If you still doubt it, you can take the flower, touch it, and tear it, you can see. Or you can taste it. Your tongue should not cheat you. So, you can recognize by your tongue, by tasting it. That also fails with respect to the China products. Therefore, we should all boycott Chinese products for many reasons, for political reasons also. So, after applying pratyaksha pramanam, now if you have come to a conclusion, if the conclusion is complete, it means buddhi has decided, and therefore phala vyapti. So, this doubt resolving antakarna vritti is called buddhi. This pramana phalam, the result of the means of knowledge, is gained by what? that vritti is called buddhi. Buddhi is also vritti. Like mind is something but a vritti, buddhi is also vritti. But in buddhi vritti, the pramana palam takes place. Bhagavan has given us the ability to think and apply our buddhi. Therefore, we must apply our buddhi and see what is real and what is not real. Whether it is a real flower or a plastic flower. The one who uses a buddhi is called buddhiman. The one who never uses a buddhi is called buddhu. The one who uses is called buddhiman. The one who never uses is called buddhu. Or you can call Rahul Gandhi also. Anyway. Now, this Vijnanamaya Kosha also, Vijnanamaya Kosha, the Vijnanamaya as the Tratyaya. What Tratyaya? Mayat Tratyaya is added. Why do we add Mayat Tratyaya to this Vijnanamaya? We know that Buddhi along with that Jnanendriya Panchakam is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. And Vijnanam also undergoes change all the time. Vijnanam also undergoes change. Vijnanam is that Jnanam, that is Vijnanam. Vijnana Ikaratvat, it is called Vijnanamaya. Vijnanam undergoes change. Therefore, Mayat Vikare, in the sense of Vikara, Mayat Pratyaya is added. When you see an object, you become the seer. When you hear the sound, you become the hearer. When you think, you become the thinker. So you are never the same. That Vijnanam, that knowledge undergoes change. Therefore, Mayat Pratyaya is added in the sense of Vijnanam. Okay, now why Vijnanamaya is called a Kosha? Because of error committed at this level. At this level of cognition, an error is committed. Therefore, it becomes a Kosha. Even the conclusions like based on your perception, you say, I did this, I like it, I don't like it. All these are the conclusions. When you say that, when you think that you are the doer, that is a mistake. You are Atma. Atma cannot be the doer. Atma cannot be a Karta. So a mistake is committed taking Atma to be a Karta. Therefore, it is Kosha. Karta is Atma, but Atma is not the Karta. That we must understand. Therefore, Koshavat Atmanam Achadagatvat Vijnanamaya Kosha. As though like a Kosha, that Vijnana which undergoes change is taken to be Atma, therefore Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is a model, beautiful model to negate all the Kosha and to narrow down the whole process and arrive at Atma. Okay. With this discussion, the discussion of Sukshma Shariram is completed. The three koshas, the Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, these three put together, they form Sukshma Shariram. Vijnanamaya, it represents Jnana Shakti. Manomaya, it represents Icha Shakti. And Pranamaya represents Kriya Shakti. So the three Shaktis in the form of three kosha, if they are they form the part of the Sukshma Shariram. Icha Shakti, we know Icha Shakti is preceded by Jnana Shakti. Any desire for an object has to be preceded by the knowledge of the object. Therefore, without knowing the object, you cannot cultivate a desire for the object. Therefore, Jnana Shakti comes first, then comes Icha Shakti. After that comes Kriya Shakti. If suppose there is a desire for an object, you can analyze your desire and you can decide whether to pursue or drop it. Either of the decision involves buddhi. Once you decide to accomplish, then you have to work for it. Then Kriya Shakti comes into picture. Therefore, these three Shaktis, Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, which corresponds to the three kosha, they work in different combinations and form the Sukshma Shariram. With this, the discussion of the Sukshma Shariram is completed with regard to from the viewpoint of the kosha. It is completed. Now comes the next kosha. You can repeat after me. Anandamaya Kaha.
Anandamaya Kaha.
Okay, here I will split for you to read. Evameva. This is a one word, Karna Sharira Bodha Vidhyasta Malina Sattvam, but I will split here for you to read. Karna Sharira Bhuta. Bhuta only. And Avidhyasta Malina Sattvam. So, Karna Sharira Bhuta plus Avidyasta Bhuta. So, Karna Sharira Bhuta Vidyasta Malina Tattvam.
Sharira Bhuta
there should not be any pause. It is a single word. Karna Sharira Bhuta Vidyasta Malina Tattvam. This Karna Sharira Bhuta Avidyasta Malina Sattvam. Right? Priyadi Vritti Sahitam. Sat Anandamaya Koshaha. Etat Kosha Panchakam. Okay, then mute your mic now. I'll give you a simple definition, simple translation of this definition. Anandamaya Taha. What is Anandamaya? Evameva Karna Sharira Bhuta Vidyasta Malina Sattvam. That Malina Sattvam, that impure Sattva, that impure condition. We'll see each word later, what is Sattvam and all. That impure Sattva, which is obtained in ignorance, Avidyasta, Karna Sharira Bhuta, which is same as the Karna Sharira, causal body, which is endowed with Sahitam. What? Priyadi Vritti Sahitam. Three degrees or three dispositions of happiness. Priyadi, beginning with Priya, Adi, Priya, etc. is called Anandamaya Koshaha. Now, Anandamaya Koshaha is nothing but Karana Shariram, that we have seen the definition of Karana Shariram. Remember the definition of Karana Shariram. Anadi, Anivachya, Anadi, Avidya Rupam. That's Avidya Rupam. That is what is mentioned here. Karna Sharira Bhuta Avidyastam. Vidyastam. Here the definition of Anandamaya Kosha is based on the experience of sleep. Therefore, Anandamaya Kosha is, we say it's Karana Sharira. Because the definition here is based on the experience of sleep. In sleep, we have two types of experiences. What are they? If you remember, number one, Aham Kimapi na Janami, and number two, Aya Skena Nidra Anubhuyate. These are the two types of experience. One type of experience is the ignorance. That's complete ignorance, total ignorance. Ignorance of everything, including the person, the subject, including himself. Aham Kimapi na Janami. I don't know anything. The sleeper doesn't know that he is sleeping happily. That he is sleeping. He doesn't know that. So ignorance includes self-ignorance also. That is one type of experience. The second type of experience is Aham Sukena Nidram Anubhavami. I sleep happily. And that happiness is recollected later, not in the sleep state. After he wakes up, he recollects. Aham Sukena Nidram Anubhavami. Here, the Karana Shariram is given a name, Avidya. Karana Sharira Bhuta Avidyastam. So, Karana Shariram is given a name, Avidya. So, when we use these words, we must be careful. How do we use? Avidya means what? Avidya means ignorance. Karana Shariram is called Avidya. Why? Because there is total ignorance. In Sushupti Avastha, what happens? The mind resolves into a dormant state. And the sleeper doesn't have any knowledge about anything except the knowledge of ignorance. That we know by what he says, Agam Kimapi na Janami. That also he recollects after he wakes up. Right? So that is total ignorance. Therefore, Karana Shariram is given the name Avidya. It is the name given to the Karana Shariram with reference to the absence of knowledge. Therefore, we must use it carefully. So wherever Avidya is mentioned, we cannot replace the word Karana Shariram, or vice versa, we cannot use it. So to be used, these words have to be used contextually. Okay. In the sleep state, there is complete self-ignorance. And the sleeper is identified with Karana Shariram, therefore it is given the name Avidya. Okay. Another name is given for ignorance here. You can see. There is another name given for this Ajnana. What is that? Malina Sattvam. Malina Sattvam, it means Ajnanam. Sattvam, what is Sattvam? Sattvam is a technical word. We all use that word. Whether we know it or not, but we use it. Everybody, every individual or everything, it has three, consists of three. Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. These are technical words. Really speaking, they are not just properties or attributes or qualities. They are more than that. But you will find the word, the attribute or quality as the equivalent translation for these words. It can be used provided you understand what it means. But we will use the word guna. We say Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. We use like that. We add the word guna. They are guna, therefore. Guna is a nice, it's a right word. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. Guna has got many meanings. Guna means the characteristics, the qualities, attributes. It also means a rope. Guna also means a rope. So, Sattva guna we use. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna iti. Therefore, every human being is subject to these three gunas. Every human being, the mind is subject to three gunas. Sattva guna, why I am saying mind? Because Sattva guna, when we say Sattva guna, it stands for calmness, it stands for the clarity, the tranquility, the purity of thought, the purity of mind. So all the positive attributes are covered by Sattva guna. So with reference to such experiences in the mind, it is called Sattvam or Sattva guna. So when Sattvam is predominant, then you become happy. Or whenever you become happy, you can say that Sattvam is predominant. The Bhagavad Gita, the whole chapter, that is 14th chapter is fully dedicated to the discussion of these three gunas. In everybody and everything, these three gunas are present. The food what we eat, it can be classified as Sattvika, Rajasika and Tamasika based on what attitude it generates in the person. Even in Dhanam, charity also, we have three types: Sattvika Dhanam, Rajasika Dhanam, Tamasika Dhanam. Even in Puja, Sattvika Puja, Rajasika Puja, Tamasika Puja, all these are discussed in detail in the 14th chapter of the Gita. So as there are three, so the results also will vary. Suppose with Puja, if you say Sattvika Puja, Rajasika Puja, Tamasika Puja, Puja is meant for accomplishing something. So based on the types of Puja, the results also vary. Therefore, in everything there is the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas is there. So each guna, that disposition of the mind, is responsible for a particular experience. With these technical words, we can easily explain the differences in the experience of people. When Sattva is dominant, you experience happiness. When Sattva is obstructed by the various degrees of Rajas and Tamas, then the happiness, what you experience also will be obstructed, it will be inhibited. So here the author says there are different degrees of happiness experienced due to Malina Sattvam. This is what is obtained in Anandamaya. Karana Sharira Bhuta Avidyasta Malina Sattvam. Bhuta means here it is of the nature of. Bhuta means of the nature of. So Karana Shariram of the nature of Avidya. Karana Shariram, otherwise called Avidya. Karana Sharira Bhuta Avidyasta. Avidyasta is what? Avidyayam Tishtati. Iti Avidyastam. That which is stationed or established in Avidya is called Avidyastam. So Malina Sattvam in Avidya. Malina Sattvam in Karana Shariram. That Malina Sattvam, that Malina refers to Tamas. So Malina Sattvam, when you say, it is a impure Sattva. Impure Sattva means what? It is a combination of Tamas and Sattvam. Combination of Tamas and Sattva. Let us analyze this now. Why it is a combination of these two? When a person is sleeping, there are two things. There is some Sukham and Jnanam also. And these two are because of the twofold experiences, Sukham and Ajnana. In Sushupti, you say, I slept happily. So, happiness is there. Therefore, we have to accept Sattva Guna being present. So, we have to accept the presence of Sattva Guna in some measure, in sleep. Because happiness is there. If Sattva is there, and Tattva stands for knowledge, clarity, therefore Jnanam also must be there. But what happens? Knowledge is that Jnanam is not there in sleep. So, Sattvam is overpowered by Tamoguna. Therefore, Sattva is covered, partly covered by Tamoguna, and so no knowledge, and knowledge is not completely there. In fact, knowledge is not there. Therefore, Sushupti Avastha is a mixture of Sattvam and Tamas. Sattvam, it represents the Sukham part of Sushupti, and Tamas represents the Ajnanam part of Sushupti Avastha. If Tamas is not there, then the person must be knowledgeable. Suppose the person must be knowledgeable, and if his eyes are closed, then he must be in meditation. But now that Jnanam is not there, because Sattva is tainted. It is tainted or overpowered by Tamas. This Sattvam which is overpowered by Tamoguna is called Malina Sattvam, impure Sattvam, sullied Sattvam. You can call anything. So Malina Sattvam. And what is the next word? Priyadi Vritti Sahitam. This Malina Sattvam, it is endowed with the Vritti, three Vrittis. The three Vrittis are not mentioned, that we have to separate. Priyadi, Priya, etc. The three Vrittis. I will explain you what is that. We have seen that before, but anyway, still I will do that. Suppose if you see something, at the sight of something, suppose you have a desire. You desire something, and at the sight of something, you experience a kind of happiness. So that the mere sight of the object gives you a certain kind of happiness. And now a desire arises in the mind to own it. And if there is a possibility to own it, then it gives you another kind of happiness, another degree of happiness. In owning or experiencing the object, there is a certain kind of happiness. So, the mere sight, in mere sight there is a degree of happiness. In owning it there is a degree of happiness, and in experiencing it there is another degree of happiness. So, the happiness itself comes in three degrees. In fulfilling the desire there is certain ananda, and there are certain things which are not exactly as we want. Therefore, the ananda is not complete. That ananda is stifled, it is inhibited. Therefore, we have three different words to denote the varying degree of happiness. What are those three words? Priya, Bodha, and Pramoda. Here it is given Priyadi, Priya, etc. Priyadi Vritti. Priya and Moda and Pramoda. Priya, the Moda and Pramoda, they are all just words pointing to different degrees of happiness. These three words are translated as pleasure, happiness and joy. But what is the difference in all these things? It all seems to be the same. Therefore, it's better to retain the three Sanskrit words, Priya, Moda and Pramoda, 3 degrees of happiness. So, if you want to understand the 3 degrees of Ananda, happiness, then we have to take an example from the Jagrata Avastha. Because in Sushupti Avastha you are not available, so we cannot take, or you can take example from the Swapna Avastha also. So let us take an example from the waking state. I like the sweet peda. I like sweet peda. So by the mere sight of sweet peda, I am happy. So there is a certain kind of happiness I experience. That is called Priyam. That Sukham what I experience just by seeing it. So Darshana Janya Sukham is Priyam. Darshana Janya Sukham. That is Priyam. Once, if I get that sweet peda right in front of me on my table, then I experience certain kind of happiness. Because I have it now, I possess it now. It is Graganam. So Gragana Janya Sukham. That is the second degree of happiness, Bodha. That is also not the ultimate Ananda. Ultimate Ananda is only when you consume it. And when I eat it, I experience a higher kind of happiness. It gives me more joy than Darshanam and Graganam. It is Pramoda. That is what we call in Tamil, Pramada. Pramada, in Tamil it means it is wonderful. But in Sanskrit, Pramada means negligence. So, Sanskrit Pramada is different from Tamil Pramadam. But here Pramoda. Pramoda is Anubhava Janya. Anubhava Janya Sukham. All these three are Sukham. Darshana Janya Sukham is Priyam. Grahana Janya Sukham is Bodha. And Anubhava Janya Sukham is Pramoda. Pra Upasarga is added. Pramoda. In sleep also we have these 3 degrees of Ananda. That depends on the person and the intensity of sleep. Suppose if you ask a person whether there is Ananda in sleep, yes, the answer is yes, the person experiences Ananda. And therefore, there must be 3 degrees of happiness. That depends on the intensity of the sleep. In dream also, there are degrees of Ananda. If the dream is good, there is certain kind of Ananda. If the dream is so wishfulling and that you have the dream of your desired object, then there is a certain kind of Ananda is there. Okay. Therefore, these 3 degrees of happiness, it is there. And these 3 degrees of happiness, the Priyadi Vritti Sagitam, Anandamaya Koshaha. And because it is varying, the degrees of happiness, it's a variation. Therefore, Anandamaya has to be the Mayat Pratyaya added in the sense of Vikara. Why? Anandasya Vikaraha. There are varying degrees of happiness. Therefore, Mayat is added in the sense of Vikara. Vikararte Mayat. Ananda plus Maya, Anandamaya. It is not that Ananda undergoes change. Ananda, not only in the deep state, you experience Ananda, even in wake a dream, you experience Ananda. What happens is that the limitlessness of Atma, the completeness which manifests in the mind when Tattva is predominant, that gives a degree of Sukham. And that we call it Anandamayaha, Ananda Kara. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, this Anandamaya Kosha is described. Tasya priyameva shiraha, modo takshina pakshaha, pramoda uttara pakshaha, ananda atma iti. This, that Ananda, which is that manifestation of this Atma, which is not stifled by rajas or tamas, is experienced as ananda. Your own desires, anxieties, ambitions, and your slumber, all these are called rajas and tamas. These are the inhibiting factors for the experiential ananda. The inhibiting factors, they are in different degrees, and therefore ananda also in different degrees. Here the Malida Tattvam it represents, it means ignorance. It means the ignorance. So Malida Tattvam Priyadi Vritti Sagitam. That when we say Malida Tattvam, it means the combination of sattva and tamas we said. So it is avidya. Maldisattvam is avidya. It is absence of knowledge. That ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is also it's bliss. It's ananda only. So when you know the nature of yourself, it is bliss. That is ultimate bliss. But here we are talking about Anandamaya, not Atma. Therefore, Anandamaya Kosha is referred to as Priyari Vritti Sagitam Malinasattvam. Anandamaya Kosha is Ananda, not born of knowledge. Not born of knowledge. All the transient impermanent experience of Ananda, it formed the Kosha. It formed the Kosha for the Atma as though, and it gives you the experiential Ananda, because of which you say, Agam Sukhi, I am happy. And therefore you become a Bhokta. That becomes a Kosha, as though a Kosha for the Atma, and therefore Anandamaya Kosha. When you experience Ananda, what happens to you? You become a Bhokta, you become an enjoyer. Therefore, Bhokta also because of Ananda Anubhava. Dukkham is also Ananda Anubhava. That's right. Dukkham is also an Anubhava. Sukham is also an Anubhava. But here we are talking about Sukha Anubhava, because Anandamaya Kosha is as though closer to Atma. You want to retain the Sukha Anubhava, not the Dukkha Anubhava. And since Atma being Satchit Ananda, Anandamaya Kosha being closer to Atma, as though, closer means not literally, as though, therefore, Anandamaya Kosha refers to the vritti which is related to the varying degrees of happiness, Priya, Moda and Pramoda. Anandamaya Kosha, when we say it is closer to Atma, it is as though, not really. Why? The Swarupa of Atma is Satchit Ananda. And the Ananda, the experiential Ananda, what you experience. That in that, the experience of Ananda, you are as though one with Atma. Therefore, we say Anandamaya Kosha is closer to Atma. Really speaking, nothing is closer or farther to Atma. It is only a model to present, to understand Atma. Everything being Atma, there is nothing closer or farther. The experience of Sukham and Dukkham is because of Atma. In that experience of Sukham, you are one with yourself. Therefore, we say it is closer. That is what means closer to Atma. And Anandamaya is the Bhokta. Who is the Bhokta? Anandamaya is the Bhokta. The one who enjoys the Ananda is the Bhokta. The basic person is a Bhokta. That is why Anandamaya Kosha, comes last. We don't have choice in experiencing something. In any experience, we don't have choice to change the experience. The sugar is sweet. We don't have choice to experience the sweetness of sugar in a different way. It can't be bitter. So therefore, that as a Bhokta, you don't have any choice. When you identify yourself with the free will, then that becomes Vijnanamaya. When you don't identify with your free will, you undergo the experience and enjoy the Sukham or Dukkham, then you become a Bhokta. Therefore, the Karta, the doer, he goes about doing things, lot of things. For what? To become a Bhokta. The karta is so busy. Why? To become a bhokta. And after enjoying the objects for which you work for, again he wants to become a karta. Why? Because to become bhokta. Once you have finished enjoying the object, again he becomes a karta to have the repetition of that experience. Therefore, the bhokta and karta is a cycle. It goes in a cyclic way. That you do an action, why? To experience the result of that action. Once you experience the result of action, then again you work for it to have another cycle of enjoyment. So it goes on and on and on. That is called samsara chakra. If you enjoy ananda as a karta, if you enjoy ananda while doing the action, then you have made it. Then it means you can happily do things, happily do anything. Even as you do, you are a bhokta because you are enjoying what you are doing. But now what happens? Now we do certain things or many actions for that matter, for what? To become a bhokta. Therefore, bhokta is a basic person, is an individual. The bhokta identifies the experiences of the degrees of sukham, and that becomes the anandamaya. When you say Aham Sukhi, it means the karma is a bhokta. I am a bhokta. And that is a kosha. And that is a kosha, as though a kosha for the Atma, because I am happy. I am is covered as though by the experience of happiness. That becomes a kosha. When you say Aham Sukhi now, it means what? I was not Sukhi before. That is also a kosha. I am happy, I am in pain. Both these conclusions are wrong, and therefore they become the locus for committing the mistake. Mistaking for what? Mistaking that Anandamaya to be the Atma. Okay. And the fact is, what is that? The fact is, I am is of the nature of happiness. The happiness, it doesn't depend on time or place or situation. I am Purnaha, I am complete. That is my intrinsic nature, Swabhavikam, not Agantuka. Therefore, all the experiences of Ananda, it forms as though an encasement for the Atma. And that is the locus where the mistake is committed. So Aham Sukhi, it's a wrong conclusion. And because I experience Sukham now, and I am afraid of losing the Sukham, there is an anxiety to retain the Sukham. So therefore, that the cycle of Kartrutvam and Bhoktritvam, it continues, and they are the kosha. Kosha vashe achara tattva, atmanam achara tattva becomes the kosha. Like a kosha, it covers, and therefore it is Anandamaya kosha. So from this discussion, it is very clear that Atma is different from all the factors. All the factors from the viewpoint of all the 5 layers of experience, either from the Sthula Sharira standpoint, or from the Sukshma Sharira standpoint, or from the Karma Sharira standpoint, related and the corresponding the 5 kosha. So it is clearly established that Atma is Atitaha, Vyakiriktaha iti. Now the next thing is, the author, he gives a logical reason to establish that Atma is different from all these things. Why? Madiyatvena yat jnatam swasmat bhinna. Madiyatvena yat jnatam swasmat bhinna. What is mine cannot be me. What is mine cannot be me, because what is mine is subject to change, vikara. Therefore, cannot be Atma. That is what the author says in the next definition. Can see. can read. It's a long definition. It's a logic given by the author. And it's a simple logic. Madiyam Shariram.
Madiyam Shariram.
Madiyaha Pranaha.
Madiyaha
Pranaha.
Madiyam Manascha.
Madiyam
Manasya.
Madiya Buddhihi.
Madiya
Buddhihi.
Madiyam Ajnanam Iti.
Madiyam
Ajnanam iti.
Svenaiva Jnayate.
Svenaiva jnayate.
Tadyata.
Tadyata.
Madiyatvena Jnatam.
Madiyatvena jnatam.
Kataka Kundala Grihadikam.
Kataka kundala grihadikam. Grihadikam.
Grihadikam. Griham means house. Vasmad Vinnam.
Vasmad bhinnam.
Tatha Panchakoshadikam. Vasmad Vinnam.
Tha Panchakoshadikam.
Madiyatvena Jnatam Atmana Bhavati.
Madiyatvena jnatam atmana bhavati.
The simple logic. Madiyam.
Is that ajnanam? It's a jnanam, right? I'm looking at the Tattvabodha in my book.
No, it's Ajnanam, because he has not become a Jnana yet. Therefore, Jnanam. Ajnanam only, right?
Okay.
Madiyam Shariram. Madiyam, my body. Madiyam Pranaha, my prana, Pacha Prana. Madiyam Manaha, my mind. Madiyam Buddhi, my mind. Madiyam Ajnanam. Ajnanam also mine. I own it, right? Svenaiva Jnayate. One knows. One knows and owns the body as mind, prana as mind, manas as mind, buddhi as mind, and ajnanam as mind. Tadyata, the same way, madhiyatvena jnatam kataka kundala grigadikam. As you say, kataka kundala grigadikam. That bracelet, what you wear, earring, kundala, grigadikam is house. That is also what you say, this is my bracelet, this is my earring, this is my house. So, Swasmad Binnam, as it is Binna different from you, bracelet is not you, earring is not you, house is not you. Right? So, as it is different from you, the same way, Panchakoshadikam, the Panchakosha, Swasmad Binnam, it is different from you, cannot be Atma. That is simple logic the author gives here. Madiyatvena yate jnatam tat swasmad binnam tasmad atmana bhavati. That is not the Atma. This we will see with more examples and things in the next class. So it's already more than 1 hour. So we will stop here and we will take up this sentence for discussion in the Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Om. Okay.
Dhanyavada.
If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Okay. Thank you.
Viliyateku energy.
Enama?
Viliyateku.
One is புரிஞ்சது வெளியே தஸ்மாத் வெளியது இன்னொன்னு என்ன கேட்டீங்க
மிலித்வா ரெண்டும் விலி அண்ட் மிலிங்கிற வார்த்தை ரெண்டும் டிஃபரெண்ட்